Let's now look at the causes of corruption. This is the subheading under the topic Corruption, Unit 5, and this is Lesson 3. So, causes of corruption. So, the cause of corruption can be grouped in the following categories. Causes of corruption can be grouped into the following categories, which are social causes and economic causes. So we are going to start by looking at some social causes of corruption. So social causes of corruption includes personal greed and dishonest. So if an official or a public officer is greedy and dishonest, that can cause corruption. Another point is, or another cause under social causes is weak enforcement or absence of code of conduct. So if the enforcement for corruption is very weak, then that corruption will increase. And if the code of conduct is absent, then corruption will continue. Another cause of corruption is punishment for offenders is weak. So if the punishment for offenders is weak, then that can cause corruption. And lastly, we have large numbers of people competing for insufficient services, like for example, few school places. So if you have a large number of people competing for insufficient services, then we are going to have corruption. People start being corrupt to fight for those places and those services. So that these are some of the causes of corruption and the social causes of corruption. So let's move on to economic causes. So under economic causes of corruption, we have shortage of food and services. So if you have shortage of food and services, people who are the little food that is going to remain is going to be fought for by a lot of people, and some will be tempted to use corrupt means to get those food and services. And secondly, an equal distribution of wealth and resources can cause corruption. Another thing is that allocation of government loans to some preferred individuals at the exclusion of others. So if you exclude others in giving loans, then those who are excluded will think of using corruption means to get those loans. And another thing is that low salaries and wages in comparison to the cost of living. So if the cost of living is high and you are getting a low salary, that can cause corruption, because if you find someone who wants to pay you money in return for a favor, then you are going to accept because of cost of living and the small salary that you are getting. Lastly, poverty is also a cause of corruption under economic causes. But apart from economic and social causes, we also have other causes of corruption, such as unnecessary long procedure. So if procedures in getting some things are unnecessary, then people will be tempted to use corrupt means to get what they want. And this type of corruption, this type of cause of corruption is called red tape. Okay, so another thing is lack of political will. So if a political party in power do not have a means or a political will to deal with corruption, then corruption will continue and even increase. So that can cause corruption. So we have lack of transparency and accountability. So if the government in power is not transparent and accountable, then that can also cause corruption. abuse of power. Those in power, if they abuse their powers, then that can cause corruption and lack of independence of the judiciary. Lack of the independence of judiciary. That's when courts may not act independently on matters of corruption if they are influenced by outside forces such as the executive. So if the executive acts on the judiciary, then the courts won't work well, and that can cause corruption and lack of press freedom. Lack of press freedom. That is, we know that the media plays an important role in exposing causes of corruption. So if the media is not working well, then corruption will be increased, or that can cause corruption. So thank you very much for watching this video. In my next video, I'm going to discuss about effects of corruption. So see you in my next video where I'm going to discuss about effects of corruption. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave your comment in the comment section.